Hello and welcome to the Swing Bump Podcast. Today we have myself, who is Jake Vossen, Wes Wagner, and James Martin. Talk about sports, the good old sports ball. We'll just talk about basketball as the NBA is currently in the semi-finals or the conference finals, as they like to call it for some reason. Bucks are losing to the Hawks right now without Trae Young. That's a little embarrassing. I was at Culver's today in good old Wisconsin, and there's a lot of people really angry. Then, of course, we'll talk about a little bit of baseball news as things have been going pretty heavy in baseball as we near the All-Star break. We'll also discuss NFL. I think we're just going to do the AFC East today. We did the NFC East. You guys did 2 weeks ago. We'll just do the AFC East today. And then we will take some of our listeners sent in their dynasty fantasy football teams. So we're just going to talk about those teams, what we would do, how we like them, and if we would project them to be a good team now versus later, etc. Don't know how many of those we'll get to, but we'll do as many as we can. This is the Swing Bump Podcast. Enjoy the show. All right, so let's just go ahead and start off with the NBA Conference Finals. Bucks are up 2-1 on the Hawks, and right now the Hawks are beating the Bucks pretty, like 20 points, right, Wes?
21 points.
I mean, it's not looking good.
21 points, and Trae Young's not playing, so that's not good. And then we also have in the conference finals, the Clippers just won a game. They're down 2-3, right?
Yes, the Suns.
So I think the Suns will win that one, probably in the next game, my guess. But
it'll be interesting because Clippers are going back to LA for Game 6. So.
Now, is Kawhi out for the whole series?
He's out probably for the whole year.
So they think he's out for the whole year. They do not think it's a torn ACL, or at least they're in denial that he has a torn ACL. So
can an MRI not tell you if it's torn or not?
I mean, they really haven't told us what he has. They've said it. They don't think it's an ACL, but obviously they know. They just don't want to tell anyone. But
that's so stupid. I just don't understand that. I mean, teams do that. I just don't get why.
What they need to do is have Kawhi dress up and then not play. That would really throw people off.
So they have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
But if he dresses, then you lose as player on your bench, though.
They got like 19 people on the bench.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think the Astros kind of did the same thing with Justin Verlander. Whenever he came out and said he would be out with Tommy John, one of our reporters, Chandler Rome, came out and was like, Justin Verlander's out for the season. And then the Astros came back and were like, we did not say that. We didn't say he's out for the season. He's like, okay, y'all haven't said it, but he's out for the season. They're like, we're not saying that. Justin Verlander came out like a week later and was like, yeah, I'm probably out for the season.
Probably dead.
Come on. So I don't know why they do that, though.
Yeah, they do, though. It's the same thing with Bill Belichick. He does the same thing, like when they ask about players being injured. Like, oh, we'll let the doctors handle that. Like, dude, just tell us if your guy's injured. That's all that matters.
Please let us know.
On their injury report, like every Saturday, you know how the team has put out their injury report for the players before the game? It's always just like leg injury or upper body injury, and you have no idea if the guy's going to play or not. So there's a lot of reasons there's a lot of reasons I avoid Patriots players in fantasy football. That being one of them.
Yeah, going back to the Clippers, Paul George was phenomenal yesterday. Kind of how Chris Middleton was phenomenal in game 4?
Oh, I guess that this series 3.
Okay, this series. So he was phenomenal in game 3. Middleton's awful tonight so far. But Paul George was playoff P the other night. And I know he's kind of alternating between the two of his monikers, playoff P and pandemic P. So, but he played well. I was surprised. And so I'm not a huge Paul George fan, but he surprised me.
He's in the same category as Phillip Rivers.
No. He's it's Phillip Rivers and Carmelo Anthony, and then it's Paul George.
The world. Oh.
Yes.
So going back to the conference finals, James, how do you feel about these Hawks you got going on right now?
Before we get there, I would like to say something if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
What did you think about Stephen A. saying Lou is the best coach in basketball?
I would disagree. I don't even think he's the best coach in the conference finals. I mean, that's top 4, but from where they were from Doc Rivers to now, I don't see a huge difference. I mean, Doc Rivers said it best, I thought. He said they're complaining about how I coached. Ty Lue is sitting right next to me. So I don't see a big change between this year and last year with them, except for them adding DeMarcus Cousins. I don't think he's even top 5 in my opinion.
What about in-game coaching adjustments? Because I do feel like he is probably top 3 at that.
I mean, he's had LeBron James, and LeBron James was the coach in my opinion. And whenever he lost LeBron James, they won like 10 games and he got fired. So, he's you can only coach the players you have, but I think the best coaches get the most out of their players. And I think he now people will argue that, well, he made the decision to play DeMarcus Cousins the minutes he did, and DeMarcus Cousins played well. I think DeMarcus Cousins is a great player. So I don't know why he hasn't been playing before yesterday. So in-game decisions, I'm not crazy about it because I think he should have been playing Cousins the whole time.
We both agree that Popovich is the greatest coach. Yes. All right, moving on. Hawks, Bucks. This series has been kind of emotional for me. We won the first game by 3, 4, 5. I don't remember exactly. Second game, we got the brakes beat off of us. Like, we couldn't do anything. And then game 3, we had it in the bag. Trae Young got hurt, and then Chris Middleton went bananas. And right now, we're only up 19, which sounds like a lot, but we were just up 24, and so it's getting kind of scary. But this series, I could see the series going 7. I also could see them winning in 6. It's kind of hard to judge with all the injuries. And if Giannis is hurt, I think the Hawks win, no matter who they have.
Giannis has a hyperextended knee, apparently. He'll miss the rest of game 4. So, I mean, that's good for the Hawks that he's out, obviously. But I think that they even the series at 2, even though the Bucks still have home court advantage with game 7 being at home. But the Hawks have shown that they can beat them at home. So I think these are some good series. I just wish that, we're having to deal with injuries again. And Trae Young's injury was really weird. I don't know if you saw it, Jake.
I don't know why the referee was so close. It drives me bonkers.
He raised the branch of the referee.
Trae Young takes a shot, takes a step back, and twists his ankle on the referee's foot. Like, the referee's feet he was in play. Like, he wasn't standing out of bounds. So it was an unfortunate play for sure. I mean, he got hurt on a referee, like, incidentally. So.
On top of that, the referees were pretty horrible in that game. Both sides, both ways. I will always say that if it is. But whatever, that's not the point. Hawks are going to win everything, the whole thing, the whole ship.
Do you think they might? They got 1 in 4 chance.
If Trae Young was healthy, I would say there's a chance. I think we would match up incredibly well with the Suns. We would not match up very well with the Clippers because of their size and their Patrick Beverley's defense and Reggie Jackson, and they're very good defensively. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on matchups.
I think y'all could still overpower them offensively because as we've seen, Drew Holiday is better than any of those guys that defensively, and Trae Young put 48 on him the other night. True. So I mean, Trae Young. My dad had a really cool comparison, I thought, not shooting wise, because Trae Young's a much better shooter than him, but quickness wise, creativity wise, my dad compared Trae Young to Allen Iverson, size wise, about 6 foot, 165 pounds. Now, defensively, Iverson was a dog, but where Trae Young's not. But speed, quickness.
I will say Iverson was a better ball handler.
Trae Young's pretty dang good himself.
He's turned it over like 26 times this series.
Iverson, look up Iverson. Iverson averaged about 3.5 to 4 turnovers a game. So
that would only be 12. Wesley.
If you have the ball in your hands a lot, you're going to turn it over. It's just facts.
Yeah, exactly. So,
running backs have a whole lot more fumbles than linemen.
I sure hope so. They never touch the ball.
So
I was watching this video the other day about Trae Young. And it seems like people have kind of hated him his whole life. I don't know a lot about his personality. Is he like a super cocky or
he's
what?
what we would consider pretty cocky.
Yeah. Okay.
So Draymond Green came out, and I think it was last in the conference semifinals. He was like, "I'm glad Trae Young's in the conference semis. Now everyone gets to see how big of an
Bleep.
bleep he really is." So it's like he said, Draymond basically said he's the biggest trash talker in the NBA.
Really?
And now everyone's going to get to see it. So
yeah,
I honestly haven't seen it very much. I've been looking very carefully.
A lot of people hate him
little
too
things.
because his style of play. He's the third leading free throw shooter attempts wise in the NBA as a guard, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Very James Harden, Luka Doncic, looking to draw the foul kind of player.
Oh, he goes to the basket a lot too. Which
you compared him to Luka, who's just don't do that.
I
mean, like people hate him in high school too.
Kind of player. But it's funny hearing him talk because he's like, yeah, just try to play the best way I can.
Wesley, we're gonna be fighting by the end of the show.
I hit that 3-pointer from really deep, but
that's actually
played great.
Pretty close to how he sounds.
Is it actually?
It's pretty close. I mean,
he's
not
a
that high
baller though.
pitch.
No, I got mad respect for Trae Young. He's an incredible basketball player. So,
jeez,
he just sounds like a 12-year-old boy who hasn't hit puberty yet.
Is there any news you guys want to hit before moving to football stuff? Oh, what about NC State getting kicked out of the College World Series?
All right, so I got this one. Everyone hang tight.
That sucks, man. That just sucks so bad.
So yes, and literally it's the worst thing that could happen. I wish they could have just postponed the World Series a week. But I did hear why they had to do it. It's because North Carolina State only had 11 available people.
Yep.
And that only leaves 2 pitchers for the whole game.
Yeah.
I'd have done it. I mean, a right fielder could come in and pitch.
I would have at least just wanted to try if I was a player.
If I was the players, I'd have been like, let's go, man. I don't care if we have 11 pitchers that are the only ones available. We all played infield and outfield in high school and junior high. Like, let's go.
That's what I would have wanted to do.
I agree. But I mean, I kind of understand because, it's the NCAA. They do what they want to do.
Yeah. I feel bad for
Sucks,
them.
though.
But,
that would just suck.
What are you doing that you get 20 guys with COVID? Like, honestly, is it just, I mean, I know they're around each other all the time.
There were 8 that were tested positive, but the other 12 were close contacts.
Still sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do that gets 8 people COVID?
Yeah. I don't think that's appropriate for this show.
This show is significantly dropping off.
That just sucks. I'm excited to see what this series has though with Vandy and
Vanderbilt's going to win again.
Vandy and I forget who
Mississippi State.
Yeah, Mississippi State. I don't know. You never know, but yeah, they've got the pitchers. But
they scored 7 runs in the first inning yesterday.
Yeah,
or 2 days ago.
They're Vandy. I should have accepted my offer from them out of high school. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah,
me
idiot.
too. I thought I was going to get drafted, but
All right.
Now we're on the Swing About podcast.
Hey, I love you guys. Whatever has led me here was the right thing to do.
What's the Lord's choice?
It was the
Lord's chips. Oh,
what? Okay, so let's talk about the AFC East. So, who did you guys have as your consensus? I guess for NFC.
We didn't do a consensus. We just did our personal what we thought.
I mean,
but most people had the Cowboys.
Everyone had the Cowboys.
Yes,
number 1.
Not one person had the Skins or the football team.
No, I had Washington winning.
Someone did have Washington.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a much better defense, and with Ryan Fitzpatrick coming out, if Fitzpatrick can go full season, I think the Redskins. Man, I hate it. I think the football team will have a good year.
That's just the thing, though. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if Fitzpatrick can put it together for a full season. When was the last time he played a full season?
He's always had young quarterbacks behind him.
He played a full season. Yeah. He just didn't start a full season.
Oh.
He doesn't get injured, which is cool.
Get out of here.
This whole Redskins thing just brings me to up something. So I went to a couple Indians games this past week, which is awesome.
So you first time racist Wahoo behind you.
It was 2 racist. It was 2 weeks of or 2 games. I had not been to an Indians game in 2 years, I think. Yeah, because we didn't have COVID. Didn't have games during COVID, and then the year before was the year I went to the All-Star game. So I guess you can call that an Indians game, but that's the only one I went to that year. But it was really cool. And when I went to the Twins game, I was like, this past weekend, I was like, this might be the last time I ever see the Cleveland Indians play a game. I almost started crying in the stands. It's like, this is just sad. I just kind of hit me for a minute. And I was like, where are we going to be next year? And like some people were asking, so what do you think the Indians should be? I was like, I don't know. But it was just sad. I mean, like to root for the team your whole life and then them not be the Indians anymore. It hurts. I know how Toby feels. It just sucks. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. So started bringing you guys down.
Cleveland sissies.
I think that they're probably going to go with the Rockers. Either the Rockers, Spiders, or Guardians, what it looks like. One of those three. What do you guys like the most out of those?
None.
I kind of like the Guardians, to be honest with you.
Guardians is kind of cool. It's like based off of these.
It's very XFL-ish.
It's got these statues that are all around Cleveland that they call like the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians. So I think that's kind of what they're basing it off of. I'm not sure, I guess, but whatever. All right, AFC East. So who do you guys have as your worst team in the AFC East?
So we did. Can someone?
You did NFC East last week.
So yeah, we did.
Or 2 weeks ago.
How do we do it? We guessed it record and everything.
Yep, record and position.
Okay.
Jets, Jets.
Yeah.
Last place.
It could be the Dolphins though.
No.
I disagree vehemently.
I 100% agree. Disagree. I mean.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So why do you think Jets are gonna be that much worse than the Dolphins?
I think the Dolphins are gonna win.
I have
the
Dolphins
division.
second.
No, you don't. Wes,
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so stupid.
They have one of the best defenses in the league.
The best safety quarterback in the league.
Tua is going to improve. Tua didn't even know the playbook last year.
Mm-mm.
Yes, they add Jalen Waddle.
Dolphins are not going to win the division, Wes.
They are going to.
I wouldn't go that far.
I hope you don't say the Patriots.
No.
The Patriots are going to be down near the bottom with the Jets.
They're not. They're not going to win the division.
Wesley, what
Yes.
record do you think the Jets are going to have?
4-13.
Wow. No confidence in Zach Wilson.
I like Zach. That's a 2-game improvement.
You got a good point. All right, Jake. You got Jets at the bottom?
I have the Jets at the bottom as well.
Record?
Yeah, I'll give them 4 wins.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I think that's a good spot, Wes.
2-game improvement.
I will put the Jets in the caboose as well, and I will give them 5 wins.
Okay. All right, I'll start off with my next team.
We're all going to have a different team here, probably. Nope, me and Wes are going to have the same team.
I'm going to put the Dolphins here. Yeah, I mean, I think that it could be the Patriots easily. But I just don't have any faith in Tua. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. They still don't have a lot of experience on that team. I think adding Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle is big. I think that'll help him out. But I still don't think that they'll pass. I think them and the Patriots will be very close to each other. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Patriots instead. But I'm going to go. I think the Dolphins will go something like I'll give them a 8-9. I think that's probably what I'd see them at.
All right, Wesley.
I'll be generous. Actually, it's not very generous. I could easily see them going like a 8-9. With the Patriots at 7-10.
I will.
That'd be crazy to have a losing season.
So I'll go Patriots at 7-10.
Just not. I'm not a believer in Cam, and I think Mac will take over for him. And just rookie quarterback going through some growing pains.
So remove quarterback. Which team do you think is better, Dolphins or Patriots?
Dolphins,
no doubt in my mind.
I disagree.
So give me
outside of wide receivers.
5 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, I said outside of quarterback. Who do you think is the better team?
All right.
Okay.
Who has better receivers?
Dolphins.
Who has a better defense?
Patriots.
Oh.
When they get, how many guys they added this year? All right, here we go. Who came back after? Because remember, last year the Patriots had 8 guys on defense sit out.
Yeah, and that's a whole year
and they're back this year.
They did not play
that
football.
They were well rested.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see. Let's remember this point at the end of the year.
Oh, we will.
I put a whole lot more faith in Bill Belichick Then what's his face down in Miami?
You don't even know his name.
Yes, I do.
Flores is a Bill Belichick disciple.
Yeah, so he's
Put
literally
some respect on his name.
the junior version of Bill Belichick.
And they won 10 games with Tua without even knowing the playbook.
Ah! Patriots over.
Cam Newton threw 5 touchdowns last year.
Keep doubting the Patriots. Keep doing.
I will doubt. Oh, and their offense is improved. They added a receiver. Nelson Aguilar's had one good year.
They also
Alright,
had
a
two tight ends.
A tight end who can't stay healthy, and a tight end who has like 600. He averages like.
Yawn,
600
yawn,
yards a
yawn.
year.
And yet, despite all that, they'll still be better than the Dolphins.
And despite all that, they might end up last in the division.
They will not. I promise you that. They will not be last in the division.
Patriots win 3 games. I changed my answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, what do you have, James?
All right. In second, I have the Miami Dolphins at 10-7.
Holy cow.
I have confidence, my friend. They got to play the Jets twice and the Patriots twiise.
You think the Patriots are going to win more than
No,
10?
the Dolphins at 10-7.
No, I have
Place.
the Patriots at third at
Third.
7-10, and I already said
Yeah,
that.
here you
Oh, sorry.
I've got the Patriots at I almost want to say 10-6-1. I don't think they'll get 11 wins. I think it's too many. I'll put the Patriots at 9-8.
So it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. Like I said, I think these two teams are actually very close.
I had who did I have tie?
I think I had the Patriots over on 9.5 when we did that earlier.
I had the Giants and Cowboys. That is a team, right? Anyway, Wes.
I'm going to go Bills 11-6.
You think the Dolphins are going to get more than 11 wins, huh?
I just don't believe you think.
I'm a big fan of Tua. So
You are.
I am too. I am on that bandwagon.
I am not.
But I am not on that bandwagon to get them past the Bills.
No, me either. So I've got the Bills. I think the Bills are going to go 12-5.
I just think the Bills were phenomenal last year, and they're due for a little bit of regression. A little bit.
I saw nothing that points to them getting worse. I think
they,
another
they
year
were
of Allen
they were
and Diggs,
phenomenal. And if you're
another
not
year-
getting better, you're getting worse. And
I
who
think
did
they can get
add?
better. If Zach Moss and Devin Singletary can step forward, they're better
That's a big if.
because they were awful last year.
That's right. They were awful. That's a big if.
All right, Wesley, what do you have for the Dolphins record?
I said the Bills will go 11-6. Dolphins will go 12-5.
All right, I went Bills at 12-5 as well. So the winner of this division is going to be 12-5. Is what we come to the conclusion of.
Apparently, that's
The winner's probably going to go 9-8. Let's be honest.
yikes. I think this is. I mean, I know that the AFC East has always been the joke, but I think this is a much improved AFC East. Even though the Patriots are down and the Jets suck, I think just
But they're
having
up.
they're up from where they were last year. I think that having it's a division trending in the right direction. I think with all the young quarterbacks that are on all 4 teams, I think they'll be a very competitive division for years to come.
I think if the Patriots were to start Mac Jones from the start, they'd probably win more than 7 games.
I think Cam Newton will probably play the whole season. I was really debating myself on this. I don't think Belichick's going to want to start Mac Jones.
I don't think he will either.
And
That's a mistake.
even eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Newton goes down and Jarrett Stidham comes in. I would not be shocked. I think that Jarrett Stidham, I mean, just from what I was watching at camp and stuff, I think that he knows the playbook a lot better than Jones. He's familiar. He hasn't really gotten a shot to see what he can do pro. I think that there's very low chance Mac Jones plays this year. But I do think Cam Newton will improve quite a bit. I mean, last year was a hard way to test somebody just based off of, after missing a season, come back, have no training camp, have literally no receivers, no tight end. I mean, I know he threw 5 touchdowns, but I think that he improves. I still don't think he'll be like awesome or anything, but I think with a much better team around him that they'll improve a little bit.
You're right. I think it is hard for someone to come in and, I mean, now Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert proved us wrong in that sense, but it's hard for someone to come in and grasp the offense like Tua. And anyways.
Let's go back to Tua. On a side note,
love that guy.
I had Washington.
It's only a good argument was for me, Wes. You had Washington and Dallas tie a game or tie
I had
records?
that- no.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
But I
saying
have
that.
Washington winning the head-to-head.
Gross.
Wait, how?
You're gross.
Mitch just says, Jake, you have no faith in the Dolphins. How does he have any idea we're talking about the Dolphins?
Because I've just posted the thing in the
Oh.
he is psychic.
I was like,
Whoa.
I was legit freaked out for a second. So he is looking at you editing the show doc.
No, I posted in the predictions channel.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
How does he know?
I thought like I checked real quick the participants. I thought maybe he like joined the meet but wasn't showing up his voice or video. I was tripping balls for a minute. I said the Dolphins 8-9. It's around a 500 team. I don't think that's a stretch.
You guys got to remember Mitch is in love with them. So
Oh, is he? Yeah, you're right. I remember him saying stuff about the Dolphins.
I feel like he's more in love with the Chargers.
no, he's more in love with Herbert.
He loves
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Herbert the pervert. All right, we got
This
to
guy, he's the most biased race. I have the Patriots at 9-8. How is that biased? It's around a
All right, we
500
got to
team.
move on. This has already taken 8 years.
All right, moving on. Okay. What's next on the agenda?
The
Oh,
fantasy.
yes. Okay. Let's talk baseball first, and we'll do fancy stuff last. So MLB news: Shohei Ohtani hit 2 dingers today. He's leading the league with 28. I mean, he's on track to be MVP right now. I mean, holy crap! 28 home runs before the All-Star break. He's on track. They at 91 or 81 games yet? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure they're at the halfway point.
So he could get near 60 home runs this year as a
And
pitcher.
200 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's just absolutely nuts. So he should be, if he stays healthy and keeps doing this, he should be MVP.
Remember how last week I was like, what if he gets 200 strikeouts and 40 home runs? That might have been under.
Do you think he'll get 200 Ks? Is he on track for that?
That's what
I
Jeff
don't know.
said.
I just said that he doesn't play enough. He probably won't get
That's
that.
what I
but-
was saying. I think he'll get the homers, but I don't think he gets the 200 Ks.
Here, I'll look up his stat. There's a no hitter currently going in the 8th inning, by the way.
Who?
Jermaine Herman. Yeah,
Oh,
Marquez.
Rockies.
Marquez. Sorry, I said his name.
Herman Marquez.
Yeah, I had it
Rockies.
backwards.
Are they in Colorado?
Yes.
Wow, you don't see that happen often.
All right, let me see.
But they're playing Pittsburgh, so that makes sense.
That's why I'm not really bringing it up. It just kind of accidentally came out.
Oh, there's also one going. There's 2 going.
Who's
Cardinals
going?
are no hitting the butt. Oh, never mind. I was just looking at the wrong banner. My bad.
I'm worried about you, man.
All right. So did you have Shohei Ohtani pulled up yet?
It's a process, okay?
Okay. While you're talking about it, so this past Sunday was rough. Josh Naylor took a beating from Ernie Clement. Either of you guys ever hear the name Ernie Clement before?
Is that the grandson of Roberto Clemente?
Yeah, they just took a letter off the end of their name. So Ernie Clement is playing second base. The Indians are extremely battered right now. Their team is just so injured. The roster that they have going out there is absolutely crazy. Crazy stat for the day for you. The Cleveland Indians have the lowest payroll in baseball and also the youngest team in baseball. And I don't know if this is still true, but like last week, it was the best start in Terry Francona's tenure with the Indians. Like at that point in the season, the highest winning percentage he's ever had.
That is weird.
It is weird, especially considering since he's joined the Indians have the most regular season wins in baseball. So that's just crazy to imagine because they're just so insanely injured. But if you did not see the play last week, nobody on base, I believe, the Twins hitter Jorge Polanco check swinged. Okay, it was a really weird swing, and it just hit like the handle of his bat.
I can't believe it went that far.
Yeah, I was honestly shocked. And it went out to shallow right field, and it wasn't even as much of an in-betweener as a lot of these balls happen when you guys have collisions or near collisions. It was pretty deep. And I think that's where it came in. So Clement's a pretty quick guy, and the ball was in the air a lot longer than you would expect, like I said, on the check swing. And Naylor comes charging in. Now, he had to charge in a little bit, but it was a pretty cut and dry right fielder's ball, in my opinion. I don't know if he called it or not, but whether he did, Clement did not hear. And they both ran into each other at full speed sprint. Now, Naylor, when he hit him, his leg, like his femur part of his leg, quad, hamstring, is what clipped the other guy pretty good. And he jumps up in the air when he's spinning, like it's like he's spinning like a top in the air.
Yeah,
Comes down.
He got John Elway helicoptered,
Yeah,
basically.
legit helicoptered. and comes down on his right foot, and then all his body weight comes down on top of it, and you see his ankle just totally detached from his body. Broke his ankle and dislocated it as well. Completely dislocated, tore a bunch of ligaments.
Detached from his body. He lost a foot.
His foot went flying off into the first base.
No way.
But it was pretty rough. I mean, I've seen a lot of injuries. I'm sure you guys have too.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
here's-
if y'all saw the Dak Prescott injury, almost identical.
Oh, yeah.
Which was pretty bad.
But I don't know if it was more painful, but there are a few injuries where I've seen someone writhe in pain like I saw him writhing. Did you watch the video, you two?
Yes.
I did.
I mean, he was like pounding the ground, trying to crawl. I don't know where he was trying to crawl to, but he was like crawling around and rolling, and it was, man, not a pleasant sight. But
Sounds like me with a sprained ankle.
Yep.
for real. I mean, I'm a pretty big wuss. I'll stub my toe and fall to the ground and just start screaming. But Rachel, bring me a Band-Aid. But yeah, it was rough. So it was pretty cool to see the Indians come out the next day. They had the most hits and runs they've had all year. And they just said that they were just inspired by they were doing it for him, they said. It was cool that Francona after the game said, I don't think that there's any coincidence that after what happened yesterday that we played the way we did today. So it's rough. He's done for the year and maybe even next year, but that kind of injury, you never know. We'll just have to wait and see. One thing I just wanted to point at, look at this. Listen to this Indians depth chart real quick. I know this isn't an Indians podcast, but when you guys start your own podcast, you can do what you want to. I hope Mitch listens to this so he can just chime in and say, Jake, nobody wants to hear about the Indians. I don't care. I'm doing it anyways. But they're really close to first place in their division. Bieber, Savali, Plesac, 3 starting pitchers, all injured. Their current depth chart for starting pitchers is Cal Quantrell, a relief pitcher, J.C. Mejia, Eli Morgan, Logan Allen, all 3 minor league guys that have no business being in the majors. Quantrell kind of does. Their bullpen is the only thing that's really intact. And then their starting catcher, injured. What's his name? It's been so long since he played. I forgot his name.
Roberto Perez.
Yes. Austin Hedges and Rene Rivera have been our catchers. Hot doo-doo. Infielders, Bobby Bradley, rookie. Yu Chang, rookie. Ernie Clement, rookie. Cesar Hernandez, veteran. One of them.
Very veteran.
Yeah, he's sucking, though. Jose Ramirez was sucking hard this month, but he had a really good game yesterday. And Ahmed Rosario, who really plays more outfield than he does infield, but lately he's going back to shortstop. So those 3 are kind of veterans, but they've all been pretty poor, except for Jose. And then our outfield is rough. You guys know how the state of the Indians outfield. Oscar Mercado, he's not shooting beyond there. He just got called up the other day.
Remember when that guy used to be like the hottest prospect?
I know, dude. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He just can't hit anymore.
He Willie Tavares.
Bradley Zimmer is a good center fielder, but he can't hit. Eddie Rosario was good left fielder. He also can't hit. Strikes out too much. And Harold Ramirez is okay hitter. Can't play outfield. So now that Josh Naylor's injured.
When we were doing our rankings, somebody had them top 10.
I did not have them. I took them
Well,
out.
the thing is, so that's my point of this. Okay. Now we're not doing power rankings today, and we're not very heavy baseball.
No. He's talking about player rankings.
But the Indians keep winning, which I just think is a testament to Terry Francona. Do you guys think that there's really any argument that he's not the best coach in baseball?
Brian Snicker.
I mean, Terry's definitely
Who?
top 3 in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he's taken a team that has no money since 2013 and had the best record in baseball, and then even now this team, I mean, you heard all the names I just said. It's just as impressive to me. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
I mean, since 2017, the Astros had the best record.
Yeah, that's only 4 years. Anything can happen. But we'll see if some of those guys come back. Franmil Reyes should be coming back soon. Indians could do something.
Speaking of craziness, I mean, we had our first sticky ejection of
the
season.
Yeah. So dive into that a little bit because that was kind of cool.
What was it? Hector Santiago, I believe, playing for the Seattle Mariners. Relief pitcher. So the starter went 2 innings. He comes in, pitches an inning, and he gets through an inning in 2/3. And then he has a little glove check, you know, how they're doing it now. And the umpires found a little something. on the glove.
A little something known as
Little-
and
And
apparently.
apparently it's rosin. Yeah. And he got tossed, and he is he's going on his 10-day vacation, paid vacation. But the team cannot replace him on the 26-man roster. So that is the downside. They cannot replace him. They have to go without a player for 10 days. So he gets to enjoy his little 10-day vacation.
So do you guys know if the umpires, like different umpiring crews, are handling this a different way? Because when I was in Wrigley, they were doing every single pitcher, every inning, checking them. And then I was watching the Twins game, or when I was in Minnesota watching the Twins and Indians game, and it did not seem like that was the case at all. I saw some guys getting checked, but not a ton. So is it like a random thing, or are they doing it when they suspect someone, or are they doing it every inning?
I think they're supposed to, if you have a new pitcher come in, they have to check them after the inning. Now, like if you have a starter, you check them the first inning. You don't have to check them again until you have a relief pitcher.
Okay.
Now the manager on the opposing team can request a check every inning if he wants, which is where Max Scherzer and Joe Girardi kind of got into it.
He can ask for a check once per inning.
Yep.
That's
which
stupid.
I think someone had a really good point. I forget who it was, but it was an ex-player, I believe. He said, if a manager requests a check after like the first time, after the minimum of one time, if he requests a check and nothing happens, it should count as a challenge.
Yeah,
if he fails
it should.
So,
and then if you run out of challenges, it should count as like mound visits or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just because it's a waste of time. It should count as a mound visit, in my opinion.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's get in.
Hold on. I got something for you, real something quick, real quick. Like,
better be good.
All right. Biggest off-season moves.
Oh, that's right.
We are going to go through it real quick. James and Jake are going to grade the biggest off-season moves, and then I'll give you the grades that the article presented to me. So, number 1, Chicago White Sox acquire Lance Lynn. What would y'all grade that? Now, Lance Lynn has had a 2.14 ERA for them. 13 games started, 86 Ks and 75 innings. What's your grade for the White Sox?
That was their biggest need coming into the year, was starting pitching, and it's pushed them into being their division leader. So I give that an A. That's a great move. It's what you needed. You made it work, and now it's pushed you to be the top team in the division. That's an A.
I would go B+ because I feel like there was better pitchers out there. He's not bad, but
he's pitching really well.
Yes.
So for the article's sake, they gave the White Sox an A. Now the Rangers are the ones who traded Lance Lynn away. They got Dane Dunning and Avery Weems. Now Dane Dunning has been okay, 4.63 ERA. What do y'all give the Rangers for losing Lance Lynn, picking up a few pitching prospects?
So go ahead, James. You start.
I don't know like all the financials involved and stuff, but just from player perspective, I would say a C-, D+.
Herman Marquez is 3 outs away from getting a no-hitter. This is a crazy year with no-hitters. So going into this year, I talked with a couple Rangers fans. A lot of my family's Rangers fans. And I said one thing they should do is trade away Lance Lynn. I mean, he pitched really well last year. I felt like the Rangers were not in a position to win this season. I said they need to rebuild. However, based off of, so I thought then the move was going to be good just because they got younger players. Mm-hmm. But just looking at what the players have done, it looks like they should have gone for some other team or something that could have given them different players because it's not working out. So maybe they'll develop more. I'll give it a C-.
Yeah, the grade was a B that they gave him on the article. Dane Dunning, he's been okay. He's one of their top prospects, and they picked up a guy named Avery Weems, who struck out 38 out of 90 batters in high A. So I mean,
it just depends on what Weems becomes.
Yeah, it depends. So they gave them a B for that. All right,
I think it was the right type of move.
I don't know Weems either, so that doesn't help me.
He's in high A, so I mean he's a ways away. But it was a long-term move, and Lance Lynn was in the last year of his contract, so we'll see. All right, next move. We have the San Diego Padres. They are on a few of these. The first move they made was Blake Snell to the Rays, and the Rays got Francisco Mejia, Luis Patino, Cole Wilcox, and Blake Hunt. So
They gave up a lot for Blake Snell, but it's paid off for them.
So what would y'all give the San Diego Padres grade for Blake Snell?
I think trading away a good young catcher like Francisco Mejia is hard because you don't get a lot of those, and he can hit and defend really well.
But they also had Austin Nola.
Yeah, I give this a B+. I think it's a good move.
Okay, James.
Sure, B+.
So the article gave them a D. Blake
Why?
Snell has a 5.29 ERA.
I forgot.
So he's given up. He's being hit at 289.
I did say D+, right?
Okay,
A
so are we
game.
doing these rankings based off now or when they happen?
I mean, it's the
I think
midseason
now,
grade.
yeah,
It's the midseason grade for
Okay.
the trade.
So I guess, yeah, we would have said probably B+ before the season started, but now that we see how poorly Snell has pitched, we say D+.
Yeah. And he's giving up a 579 slugging percentage.
Let me just say this. I always hated Blake Snell, so I'm glad he sucks.
Not a fan of him either.
All right, so what's your grade for the Tampa Bay Rays? Picking up Francisco
Hey.
Mejia, reliever, and Luis Patino, and a couple other guys.
I mean, you got rid of one of the worst pitchers in the league in Blake Snell, and you got a bunch of young players. So I say that's a great. I'd say give that a B+.
I say
They
A.
gave them a B. Mejia's hitting 242 on the season with 307 on base percentage. Patino has been very well. Has played very well. So, but actually 242 as a catcher is probably near the tops of the league. So it's
You're not
probably
wrong.
good.
Catchers are not hitting well this year.
Yeah. So, all right. Move number 3, also San Diego Padres. We have Yu Darvish and Victor Caratini for Zach Davies, Reginald Preciado, Owen Kaisi, Ismael Mena, Yeson Santana. Oh.
The hardest
Okay.
names in the world.
So the big piece there is Yu Darvish. So what's Yu Darvish's stats so far?
Yu Darvish has pitched in 15 games, 90 innings. It was the 2.50 ERA.
Yeah,
Has
'cause he's-
struck out 108 batters in 90 innings.
Yeah, he was at the beginning of the season. Remember, he had a lot of Cy Young discussion around him beginning of the season, but now DeGrom, of course, took that over.
The Padres are 12-3 when he pitches.
Yeah, I think that's a great move for the Padres. I give that an A-.
Yep.
I mean, they gave up a lot for him, but I think it's a good move.
Okay,
A.
James? Yep.
Even A.
Yep, they gave the Padres an A. So
Mhm.
it's a good move for them.
It's just you
And-
gave up so much to get him.
And the Cubs, the big piece there was Zach Davies. The other guys are 4 prospects. Davies is pitching to a 4.31 ERA in 16 starts. And the other 4 prospects, only one has played in the minors in 2021.
So it's hard to grade that side of it.
Yeah.
How is Davies done?
4.31 ERA in 79 innings, 49 strikeouts in 79 innings.
I mean, you gave up a lot to get him. He hasn't really made a huge impact for your team, so it kind of seems like a wash. I give it a C, I guess.
I feel like they thought they were going to be bad, and so they went with a taking approach, and they're not bad. So I think this trade looks even worse now, and I'm going to go a D.
They gave the Cubs an F on this one because so it was a financially motivated decision. They saved $59 million by trading
It's a lot
Darvish.
of money.
But the other 4 prospects that they got in return, they haven't done anything. So
Yeah.
you can't give them a grade.
But I mean,
Zach Davies has
prospects
been below
are
average.
so hard to trade. I mean, like, it's just nuts. You look at any other sport and you know what these guys are going to be coming out of high school and college. Like, there are, of course, always busts, but out of baseball, I mean, there's so many players drafted that just never even see the pros.
Mhm.
And you just got to just shotgun approach, get a bunch of them, hope you get the good ones.
Oh, yeah. All right, next move is near and dear to Jake Boston's heart. New York Mets acquire Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco, and the Cleveland Indians receive Andres Jimenez, Ahmed Rosario, Isaiah Green, and Josh Wolf. What are
How much
y'all's grades for the New York Mets?
How much has Carrasco played?
Carrasco has not played.
Yeah, because he was injured.
He has yet to take the mound due to a torn right hamstring.
I mean, the trade helps out a lot because they signed Lindor to a big time deal. So they have him for like the rest of his career pretty much. So you can't grade it too hard. I think I give it a B probably because Lindor will eventually be playing there his whole career. Now he's playing much better lately, like the last 3 weeks than he was to start the year. He started so bad. So I give them a B. The Indians, Ahmed Rosario has been outside of home runs better than Lindor. But what's the other guy's name? I forgot his name all of a sudden.
Andres Jimenez.
Andres Jimenez he was so bad when he played for the big league club, so he's playing minors, and the other two guys won't be up for a while. I don't know. I guess I give I feel like the Indians should have gotten more for Lindor. I'd give them a C or C minus, and then a B to the Mets.
Okay, James.
I think I should go first next time because you keep saying everything I'm going to say. The Lindor trade originally looked good, then it looked bad, and now it looks like they're getting the Lindor back. So I feel like if you would have asked me this a week and a half ago, I would have said like a C minus, but I'll give him a B minus now just because Lindor's coming around and Carrasco. Will he be back at all this year?
When
did he tear it?
It does not say. It just says he's tore his hamstring and he's yet to play.
It happened like 1 week before the season started during preseason.
So he probably won't pitch this year, I'm assuming. So I'll stick with a B minus, C plus. For the Indians, I will go a D.
For the New York Mets, this article gave the Mets a D. Lindor is hitting .219 with 311 on base percentage for a guy who's making $34 million for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And Carlos Carrasco not playing also hurts that score.
I do think. I mean, they didn't lose a lot though. All 4 of their guys kind of sucked that they gave us. So.
Yeah. So the Indians are also given a D as well.
Mm-hmm.
With Jimenez hitting under 200 with an on base percentage about 226, and the other 2 guys have also flopped in the minors so far.
How can both sides of a trade be bad?
Yeah, both teams lost that trade.
But like we said, it's gonna change.
Lindor's gonna play. He's an elite talent. So
yeah. All right, next trade. Guess who? San Diego Padres once again.
How many more you got?
Joe Musgrove, and they trade a bunch of minor leaguers. So
stats on Musgrove.
Joe Musgrove, 14 games started, 85 innings, 103 strikeouts, 19 walks, a 2.22 ERA.
It's an A.
Yes, it is. James?
What you got, James?
You go first next time.
A.
Promises.
Yeah. And for the Pirates, bunch of minor leaguers, basically.
D.
I don't think
you want to.
You don't want to keep Joe Musgrove when you're the Pirates, just wasting money. I give it a B.
Yeah. So I mean, of the prospects Pittsburgh got back, they got number 5 prospect, number 22, and number 25 among their club. So they gave him a B.
Guess what would have helped if I knew that they had all that information.
Maybe
I want to go first.
Maybe you should let me go first, and then you can get the right answer.
Jake talks too much, so I never get a chance to talk.
All right, into some signings. Real quick, Blue Jays going to get George Springer. What do y'all give that?
He's not been playing well. Yeah. Yeah, that's a D for me.
Probably a D.
Yeah, they gave Springer a D. So he has hardly played. He had a hamstring issue.
And when he plays, he's hot butt right now.
Yeah. So bummer. Although I do like George Springer. All right. Yankees re-signing DJ LeMahieu to a 6-year, $90 million deal.
What's his stats before I say
Speaking of George Springer, Wes, remember when JP was trying to get that ball from George Springer that one day?
He did.
Yeah, but then I caught it. He was so mad. It's like, I wanted to catch it. I was like, sorry, buddy. I didn't know if you'd catch it or not. You're a little guy. And I caught it and like handed it to him like he was my child.
Mm-hmm.
Good day.
Here, son.
Here you go.
Oh, yeah. So DJ LeMahieu is hitting 261 with 337 on base percentage with 6 home runs this year in 71 games.
B plus.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good move for the Yanks.
Yeah, so he's hitting. They gave him a C on this one. I guess because he's his strikeout rate has also gone up.
Probably because he's in bed 350 again.
His exit velocity has also gone way down after hitting 336 last year. His average is down to 261. So I'm sure he'll get it back eventually. Let's go to.
How many more you got? Just curious. Asking for a friend. Okay.
One more. Trevor Bauer.
He's been good. I mean, he's not the Cy Young he was last year, but he's been good. I give that an A minus or a B plus.
Can I hear the trade, Jake, please?
There was no trade. They signed him as a free agent.
3 years,
I am
$102
so
million.
sorry.
16 starts, 2.57 ERA, 129 strikeouts.
I give it an
101 innings.
Straight up A.
A. I mean, he's obviously doing well.
He was an A.
Yeah. It's an easy
So,
decision.
I wrote that article, Wesley.
oh, did you?
Speaking of Trevor Bauer,
was also traded, but that was.
we won't discuss it on this show for time's sake and just content our target audience. But if you want to get a good read, go look up Trevor Bauer in the news right now and Ben Zobrist. Some interesting stories going on there.
I do not advise to read that one, but go for it.
But yes, so go ahead and check those out. All right, so let's get into our fantasy football breakdown. So here's what we did. We sent out posts and messages to our listeners and said, send us screenshots of your fantasy football teams. All the teams we got back were dynasty leagues, which makes sense, of course, because most redraft teams have not drafted their teams yet. So all of these teams that you've gotten are either dynasty teams or keeper teams that keep a certain number of players. So we're going to go through each team as a group. I guess originally we had talked about each taking one team and just talking about it, but we'll just go through each one, and we'll do this for about 20 minutes, I think, guys, and then we'll be done because we're already at, well, actually I can't see our timestamp. So I want to do it. I won't make this too long. So we'll do about 20 minutes. If we can get through all the teams, 20 minutes, great. If we can't, then we can't. So I'm going to share my screen with our viewing audience on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. If you're not, go to YouTube and jump to this point, and you will be able to see each team. So there's that. All right. So here we go. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our first team that we're looking at is from CJ Jones. Maybe I shouldn't use last names, but CJ J is the last name.
He's whited for murder.
This is a super flex league, tight end premium. So tight ends get 1.5 points per reception, and there's 12 teams. So I believe this was a startup draft this year. Yes, it's a startup draft. He's got Joe Burrow as his quarterback. His other quarterback that looks like he'll be starting in his super flex is Sam Darnold. He also has Justin Fields. So once he starts playing, he can play him as well. And then he's got Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, DJ Chark, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Darren Waller, which I think is huge, especially for tight end premium, Denzel Mims, the Jets. His bench then is Kerryon Johnson, Ty Johnson. Is that Ty Johnson?
Ty Johnson.
Yeah. Salvin Ahmed, DJ Dallas, Kenny Gainwell, Chuba Hubbard, N'Keal Harry, Paris Campbell, Rashawn Bateman, and Cole Kmet. So if I look at this team, the first thing jumps out at me is a bench that has a lot to be desired. There's a lot of guys there that won't even see the field much.
Probably majority of them.
I would agree. His bench is needing a lot. Now Justin Fields could end up being big once he becomes a starter.
But I think even Sam Darnold's a good super flex quarterback.
Yeah,
not bad.
Not bad. And how many teams are in this league? Do you know?
12 teams.
Oh, yeah. So getting a guy like Sam Darnold as your super flex quarterback is a good gamble, I think.
What helps him is he'll have 3 startable quarterbacks that are all young. So he should have a good quarterback core for years to come. So that's what I like about that team. Now, do I think he'll have the best quarterbacks? No, he doesn't have any of the top. Really, any of the top 10? Well, I guess Burrow is probably a top 10 dynasty QB in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he does have 3 good ones. Darren Waller's big in a tight end premium, especially Darren Waller, because of how many catches he gets. So that'll help him out a lot. His receivers reek a little bit to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't go big on those. I would trade away probably one of my running backs for one.
He does have some high upside guys. I mean, you get Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, so Chark's value kind of goes up, I think.
Depends on what we see.
Burrow. I mean,
rookie QBs rarely turn out like Justin Herbert.
Jamar Chase is on.
You're saying Trevor Lawrence isn't going to turn out good?
I think he will, but first year, I mean, even though he is, I project to be Justin Herbert-esque, it's just hard to project that in the first year. So first year, this upcoming season, do I expect a lot of CJ's team? Me, not so much. What, James?
I was just scratching my eyes.
Oh, I thought you were.
I mean, I think Chark. I don't think Chark will be. I mean, he might.
He won't be
20.
Keenan Allen.
No, but I do think it's got some upside, especially if you got young guys like Michael Pittman, T. Higgins, DJ Chark. Yeah. Especially T. Higgins. T. Higgins could be the number 1 receiver for that team.
There's a lot.
It could be also the 4th.
Yeah, that's the
third.
Tyler Boyd,
whatever.
Jamar Chase, and
4th behind Joe Mixon.
Get the heck out of here.
So it'll be tough. And that's the thing. He has Burrow, Mixon, and Higgins.
Yeah, and they proved that they are willing to throw the ball last year.
Yeah, that
Joe
offense
Burrow
better
threw for
score a lot of points because that's half of his starting lineup. His Bengals.
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 So, I don't know. I give this team a B minus, maybe a C plus.
I would give it a C plus because of depth.
Yeah,
I would go C because of there's no bench.
There's no bench. I mean, there's a lot of guys that could. His thing is he has some rookies that help. Justin Fields is a big part of his bench, but any of these guys in the starting lineup get injured, and I get really worried. I mean, his bench guys are. It's great to have a few of those guys in case someone ahead of him gets injured. Like if Chris
Hubbard could be really big.
Yeah, if CMC gets injured, or if Chris Carson got injured, DJ Dallas could be huge. But like Kerryon Johnson, N'Keal Harry, I worry about those guys. What?
Dang it.
Is Rashad Bateman his best option out of the running back receiver group?
Maybe Paris Campbell. We'll see.
Okay.
What, James?
I would say I give him a C for this year, but for like future, I would give him like a B.
He's got a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
But it just depends on who turns out. What about Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman on the same team?
Well, he's gonna get the good one. He's gonna get the one.
I've seen a lot of that where you think one guy is going to end up one of those two is going to hit. I just don't think it'll be both of them.
Or it's going to be that undrafted rookie free agent that no one's heard of.
Yeah, you never know.
James Robinson,
Victor Cruz, anyone?
Oh, his taxi squad. So he still has more rookies on top of that. He has Schwartz. I don't know who Williams is.
Hawkins Williams.
Oh yeah, Puka
Williams.
Williams.
What league is this?
Anthony Schwartz. This is Dynasty Duds, our candy themed league.
I thought I had him in that league.
Guess not. And then he also has Brevin Jordan, which is nice, and Kellen Mond. So, man, that guy, he's got a lot of youth on that team. A lot. CJ, I would, next time you do a startup dynasty draft, try to win the next year. At least give some effort. All right, this next one goes to Kyle, whose last name will remain nameless. This is a super flex tight end premium league.
Do you even know his last name?
I don't. I know he's spooky Kyle because he's got the ghost in his little emoji. Tight end premium, so again 1.5, and then 12-team dynasty, so same format as the previous league. Quarterbacks leave a lot to be desired for me. He's got Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, and Trey Lance.
$143
out of 1,000.
Yep.
143 out of 1,000. Then running backs: Nick Chubb, Joshua Kelly, James Robinson, Trey Sermon. I like that group. Trey Sermon could turn into something.
Trey Sermon's got some upside there, and
so does Nick Chubb, of course.
James Robinson will still get some touches, so I'm good with that. And if he comes up with these next couple of picks,
and the way that they look like they might use Travis Etienne, James Robinson might be on the field a lot if Etienne's playing a lot in the flex, or if they do two running back sets.
I mean, I don't mind him at all, considering I'm looking ahead a little bit. He's got some high upside guys at tight end and receivers. I don't mind that. I don't mind having him as a RB2 at all.
The Jacksonville situation is just really interesting to me because I think they're going to play a lot of spread. When you look at what Trevor Lawrence is used to doing in Clemson, when you look at what Urban Meyer did in Ohio State, and then you look at the personnel of the Jags, they don't really have tight ends there that are of value.
Tim Tebow.
And then you've got two good receivers in Shenault and Chark, and then two good running backs in Robinson and Etienne. I would suspect a lot of shotgun spread offense, which we have seen can have issues in the NFL, but I think we could see it a lot. So I think Robinson and Etienne both carry a lot of value next year. All right, there's receivers: Rashad Bateman, Miles Boykin, Quintez Cephas, Devin Duvernay, CeeDee Lamb, Denzel Mims, Rondale Moore, Amari Rogers, Laviska Shenault, Darius Slayton, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Mike Williams, tight ends, George Kittle, Albert Okwuegbunam, and Kyle Pitts.
And
then his taxi squad is Mac Jones and Khalil Herbert. I actually really like this team outside of QB.
I mean, I think you got a little rookie happy there. I mean, there's a lot of guys who were rookies last year.
It's a 25-man roster, and you only start 10. So he probably has a lot of young guys on his bench.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have got a little rookie happy, but now with how rookies are coming in the league and playing very well from the start, he's got some good potential there. I see Jalen Waddle, Amon St. Brown, Rondale Moore. I mean, he's got a lot of guys with big upside, and Rashad Bateman too.
Well, he can still put
not-
2 more on his taxi squad as well.
Not to mention Kyle Pitts. So, you know, with so many of them, I'm sure at least half of them are going to hit. So,
What do you think, James?
I am not a fan of the quarterbacks.
No.
And I am not really a fan of the running backs either. Right now, I mean, it all depends on what Trey Sermon does. I'm not a fan of James Robinson because they're going to split time.
Well,
and
go ahead.
And if you look at the past 3 years, Jacksonville has had a top 5 rusher, but that's because they've only had one rusher.
Yeah.
And I think this is throwing that out. It might not. I'm just basing this off what I know now. And that's why I'm not. I mean, obviously, his tight ends make up for a lot because he has the
he's hoping they will.
Number 2 tight end potentially, and could be a top 3 tight end in Kyle Pitt. Top 4. Mm-hmm. We'll say top 4.
Or even top 5. I think he's likely to be top 5.
So in a Superflex tight end premium league, I think the Superflex kind of hurts him a little bit, but the tight end premium helps him a lot. So I'd give him an even B here.
Yeah, I think that he can start 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
And he'll start 2 quarterbacks. So he'll probably start Goff and then whichever San Francisco quarterback is starting.
Yeah.
And then Chubb and Robinson he'll start. And then his receivers. What would his starting receivers be?
CeeDee Lamb.
How many receivers can he start?
I believe it's 2 and then 1 flex. It might be
out of
3
a
and
10?
a flex. Huh? This is a different league than I thought it was.
This is the JV, isn't it?
No, this is a different league. This is a totally different league.
Oh, you're not part of this league?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, sorry.
So CeeDee Lamb starting for sure.
Yep.
Looks like Jalen Waddle.
Laviska Shenault.
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, it's going to be hard to have a perfect team. I give it a B plus. I think
hard to judge. It's hard to judge without seeing what these rookies can do, what they will do.
I'd say B or B plus with those tight ends, with the amount of young receivers he has. Chances to win this year, I say, are low, but over the next 5 years, I expect him to be a contender every year.
Now, something that could be really big for him is Mac Jones. If Mac Jones becomes a starter, that could change the outlook for this team.
And if Trey Lance hits like we think he will, if he ends up having Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Jared Goff, all as his 3 QBs, that could be huge. So he's got potential. So much of his team depends on what his rookies do.
To me, I still give him a B minus because there's so much to, which isn't a bad score, but there's so much. There's a lot of rookies.
A lot of risk.
You just never know.
Yeah.
A lot of risk with rookies for sure.
So it could. I think this team has a high ceiling, low floor kind of thing. A lot of ways it could go, but that's how I feel about that.
Yep.
All right, next team. All right, CJ gave us another team. This is a half team PPR dynasty. Now, all 3 of us are in this league, correct? Yeah, you're all in dynasty. Dude.
Yes.
Okay, so this is. How did CJ do last year? Did he just miss the playoffs?
He had the best team, and then he got upset in the playoffs.
Yeah, something like that.
Remember, he's got a lot of players on his taxi as well.
What happened to his quarterback? Did he have Cam Newton as his quarterback last year?
He had Jalen Hurts too.
I'm pretty sure he traded away.
Yeah. He gave me Deshaun Watson.
Watson, yeah.
Yeah, I got Deshaun Watson. All right, so currently his starting QBs are Andy Dalton, Cam Newton.
And Jalen Hurts.
And Jalen Hurts is on his taxi squad, so he'll probably promote him. Running backs, Chris Carson, Josh Jacobs, Ty Johnson, David Johnson.
This team is so much. He had a different team last year. He did a lot.
He just done a lot of offseason stuff. Receivers, Amari Cooper, Jalen Guyton, DK Metcalf, Brashad Perriman, Michael Pittman, Jalen Reagor. Tight ends, Dalton Schultz, Darren Waller. Defense, Saints. On his taxi squad, he has Justin Fields, Eno Benjamin, Jared Dokes, who I've never heard of, Kylan Hill, Larry Roundtree, Jonathan Adams, Joe Reed.
I thought you said he had Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is on Riley's team.
Sorry, I saw at the bottom.
That's okay.
My bad.
So I'll just go real quick. I love his receivers, love his tight ends, don't love anything else.
And you got to start 10 people in this league too, so it's kind of hard.
And you got to remember with this team, it's 16 or there's 16 teams in the league. So any team in that league is going to have holes. That's just how this league is built.
Yeah.
But yeah, his quarterback room is going to be rough. So I don't know what he's going to try to do. I guess he's going to have to hope Justin Fields gets promoted quick. That's probably why he went out and got Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Now
So-
he might win because of how the strength of his team is in his receivers and tight ends.
Well, and
And
with
if-
this league, you have to start
Yeah.
3 receivers and 2 flex positions. So if he can start 5 good receivers, he's doing pretty okay.
So especially if Justin Fields can come out and ball, his team might contend. Because,
You guys think Brashad Perryman will be the one for Detroit?
I do not. I think Tyrell Williams will be number
Tyrell
one.
Williams, huh?
I'm not a fan of Tyrell Williams because I picked him the past 2 seasons that I think he's going to be the number 1 for the Raiders, and he hasn't played.
He was 2 years ago. He was number 1.
I don't know.
No, it's like 3 years ago.
The receiver group is really just Amari
he's-
Cooper and DK Metcalf.
And Michael Pittman.
I mean,
Yeah,
Michael
but we'll
Pittman,
see.
Jalen
We'll see
Reagor.
about Michael Pittman. We'll see.
And I think Perriman at minimum is the number 2,
Yeah.
and they're going to be losing a lot, so they're going to be throwing a lot.
Having starting receivers is big in this league. So I think I give this team an A-. I think A- or B+.
I do not give it.
I can't because
give
the
it a high.
quarterback. I can't give it because the quarterback. I'm going to give it a B.
I'm going to go C+ just because the quarterbacks and the running backs, it's iffy.
I love the tight ends. If this is mostly a potential pick because I think if Justin Fields becomes a starter, he becomes a very dangerous team. I'm gonna go B+.
All right, cool. All right, next one goes to Adrian. This is a 12 teams dynasty, super flex again, and tight end premium again. So he has,
Look at these quarterbacks.
I believe this is a current. Yeah, this is the league that I commissioned. This is a current startup draft or just recent startup draft. I mean, quarterbacks. He has Sam Darnold, Jimmy Garoppolo. We've seen a lot of these guys: Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, and Carson Wentz. So start 2 quarterbacks in this league. I don't know why he needs 5. But
he could trade, but he probably did it so he could trade one because he has.
I mean, I could. Adrian,
three very good starters out of that for sure.
Hit me up, Adrian. I need a quarterback. So,
I mean, I see he's got Darnold there for 18. When Mac Jones takes over, he could trade Darnold and be very happy with Mac Jones as a flex. And if Carson Wentz doesn't pan out, you cut him and you're still happy. So,
I mean, I don't know how much use Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have for this team. It's going to sit on his bench a lot. So, like you said, I'd probably try to trade him away to someone who thinks that he's going to start. But yeah, having Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold on the same team, 3 good young quarterbacks. Well, maybe we don't know about Carson Wentz being good.
yeah.
We'll see. I expect.
I think it will be. I think it'll be great.
Then we have James Conner, DJ Dallas, Mike Davis, J.K. Dobbins, Myles Gaskin, Todd Gurley, Ty Johnson, and James Robinson.
Here we
So-
go again.
Big numbers. Big names are James Robinson, J.K. Dobbins.
He has 4 starting running backs.
Miles
Mike-
Gaskin's a starter.
And Mike Davis.
is a starter. Isn't James Conner a starter too?
It's iffy. It's up in there.
I mean,
So it's potentially 5.
It's between the Edwards guy, right, for the Cardinals.
Edmonds.
Edmonds, Chase
Chase
Edmonds,
Edmonds.
Yeah.
which he's never been a starting running back in his life. So even
I
if he
think-
does start, Connor there
For the
he's
games-
gonna get some touches.
For the games Connor's healthy, I think Connor starts. I feel kind of odd about this because I don't like any of them as like this is my best running back on my team kind of guy. But the depth that he has is crazy at running back. I
love J.K. Dobbins. James, what would you say about Mike Davis? Is he gonna get a ton of carries?
Well, I mean, have you seen our backups?
No.
If he doesn't get a ton of carries, everybody should be fired on that team.
So Mike Davis could be I mean, he played well when Christian McCaffrey was hurt last year, so that could be big for him.
He has a lot of depth on that.
I don't like
Running
Todd
back,
Gurley,
really.
but having James Conner as like a 4th or 5th running back, I like that a lot.
Yeah, but I just feel like all of his running backs are RB2s. They are. All of them.
They are. I
Or
mean, J.K.
worse.
Dobbins has some good potential now that Ingram's gone.
Yeah.
So,
But he still has Gus Edwards there. And who's the other one?
Hill,
Justice Hill.
Justice Hill, yeah.
Yeah. So
But
I do
think
like
Dobbins-
J.K. Dobbins. I'm a big
I think
fan.
Dobbins gets the most touches out of all of them, and I like him a lot.
Yeah,
And
okay.
having James Robinson as the RB3 is solid. I think.
So let me look at his receivers. We've got Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, Des Fitzpatrick, Will Fuller, Mecole Hardman, Darnell Mooney, Michael Pittman, Debo Samuel, Traquan Smith, Juju Smith-Schuster. So this was an auction draft. I feel like he just kind of
He went
Didn't-
middle of the pack for everything. I feel
yes, he did not spend early on any of the big names and just waited until he could get deals on all the late round people.
So
I mean,
he paid more for Sam Darnold than he did any receiver.
It's a
super
flex.
Quarterbacks are worth a lot.
Okay. But Sam Darnold's his third. Okay, he almost paid more for his fourth quarterback than he did for his number one receiver.
That's better to say.
Yeah, I think that he should have prioritized getting some better skill players than he did on those quarterbacks. Because then you look at his tight ends. He's got Gronk and Robert Tonyan as his 2 tight ends in a tight end premium league. I would have really tried to at least get a top 8 tight end when I had that much money to spend, because he waited so late to get some of these guys. I don't think this is an awful team. I think it probably is one of the best depth teams.
You should show his taxi squad. He's got good people in it.
Oh,
too.
does he? Oh, Davis Mills, Trey Sermon, Amon Ross Brown, and Pat McFermuth. So that's good.
I mean,
I have Trey Sermon.
I think he's got some decent depth there at receiver. I mean,
He does. And you're
Juju
starting 10 people.
Schuster is at least wide receiver 2 on his team, I think.
But you can't win a league with just having depth, though. You've got to have some stars, right?
I mean, yeah, but you don't know if any of these guys are going to break. Like Michael Pittman could break out. McCall Hardman could break out.
To be a top 10?
I mean, maybe not top 10.
I cannot look at a player on this team and say, I expect one of these guys to be top 10 of their position.
Say he has the number 12 and 16 wide receiver.
Okay.
Or have the 6th receiver and the 20 receiver.
I'd take 6 and 20.
Yeah, but it's going to balance out to be almost the same as what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. I feel like that 6 guys have those big weeks to get you wins. Whereas so imagine this is reminds me of a team I had last year and Brotherhood, James. You remember that league?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I had a team. Oh, I scored 100 points every week because I had a team where I had a lot of guys that were very consistent and would get 10 points. I get 100 points, 105 points, 110, whatever it is. Whatever is about average. I never had a really bad week, but I would lose because the other team would have 1 guy or 2 guys that would explode. And I just think that that's the kind of team he's looking at. I think he's looking at a team that's never going to have a super low week because he'll always have good bench players that he can put in during buys or injuries, but he'll never have explosive weeks because he doesn't have any guys that I really think will ever explode. So,
do we see anyone at receiver who is on a high-powered offense who could
Hardman
break out? So we have Mecole Hardman, Tyler Boyd potentially.
Why do you think Hardman would break out? What's changed
They don't have
wide receiver 2. No more Sammy Watkins. Not that Watkins really
he demanded a lot of targets last year.
He was a deep threat too, and now I mean obviously Tyreek Hill, but he's going to be double cover, and that leaves Hardman more open.
I don't know that Watkins even really was on the field that much, was he?
I'm pretty sure he played a lot. He just didn't do very good.
He didn't get a lot of balls thrown to him.
He did.
I don't think Will Fuller is a big time threat there.
He'll be starting though. I think Will Fuller's a starter on this team.
Do you see any 1,000-yard? I mean, do you see any 1,000-yard receivers this year?
Well, 17 weeks probably. I think that
2.
I think Chark could get close. I think Fuller probably will.
I think he could have 5,000 receivers.
Fuller's going to be suspended for the first part of the year.
I think Darnell Mooney could be a 1,000-yard receiver.
Wow.
Debo Samuel could. Juju could.
All right, so put it in perspective. Darnell Mooney didn't play the whole season. I don't believe that. At first, I don't think he was technically. He still scored almost as much as DJ Chark did last year.
Yeah, but now he's going to have Andy Dalton throwing to him.
He's also got Justin Fields.
Trubisky throwing up to last year.
That's actually an increase. So
what do you guys think about? What do you think about Robert Tonyan this year? He was kind of had some hot.
I wasn't a fan of him last year, and now that Aaron Rodgers probably isn't playing, I'm definitely not going to be a fan of him.
Yeah, I just feel like this team has too many guys. He could be good. I give this team a B-.
I could B-. I'd go with that.
I mean,
I love his depth.
Y'all tell me, could he trade a quarterback for a decent tight end?
Yeah, I think so. Probably. Or at least, I mean, with all the depth he has, that's the kind of the route I would go. I'd be like, look, I'll give you 3 really good players that'll give you depth. I'll give you Sam Darnold. I'll give you Myles Gaskin and someone like Mecole Hardman. You give me 1 stud, right? That's kind of trade I think he could probably pull off.
So I think because he's got the tools to make that big trade, I'm going to go with B+.
Yeah, but he's got to do it. This is one of those teams that you can't fall in love with and be like, I'm really happy. Look at all these. This guy could do something. This guy could do something. Because you could talk yourself. Go ahead.
I think J.K. Dobbins could be huge.
Oh, me too. I like him.
With now it's his third year in the league. Now he's the lead back. So we'll see.
I just think that the danger of this team is you going like this. Oh, Sam Darnold, he's on a new team. He could be really good. Jimmy Garoppolo, he could start all year. Mac Jones, he could start if Cam Newton sucks. Baker Mayfield, he's pretty solid, which he is. Carson Wentz, he's on a new team. He could be great. Okay, there's a bunch of could be's, right?
A lot of coulds, yeah.
Then you go through the same thing with Connor. Oh, he's on a new team. He could start there. He could be really good.
If only he stays healthy.
Yeah, DJ Dallas could be good if Chris Carson gets injured. Mike Davis could be good if the Falcons use him a bunch. J.K. Dobbins could be good now that so-and-so's gone.
We get it.
No. Mm-hmm. So I think that you could really talk yourself into thinking that this team is really good, but then you're relying on a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. So I would try to take some of those guys that have potential upside and talk about the upside and trade them away. That's my advice for you, Adrian.
All right, moving on.
Do we have anyone left?
One more.
Oh, one more. Okay. Tyler, on a 12-team non-PPR league, so old-fashioned league, meaning you don't get any extra points for catching the ball. Now, this is kind of blurry.
It's I'll explain what it is while you do that. It's a 6-keeper league, 3 at last year value and 3 at this year value. So you don't see the values on here because we have it on a spreadsheet. So it's going to be a little hard for you to understand that no one's really chose their keepers yet. I mean, they have, but we haven't made it final.
I gotcha. Okay, can you guys read that?
Yeah.
Okay, so quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Running backs, he's got Ezekiel Elliott.
Saquon Barkley's there at the bottom.
Saquon Barkley is on IR still for him. And he's got Jerick McKinnon as his backup. Okay. Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson are his starting QBs. Or his QBs. There's no super flex time premium or anything. Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf, wide receivers. He's got Clyde Edwards-Helaire in his flex. Robert Tonyan at tight end.
He has TJ Hawkinson at the bottom.
TJ Hawkinson as well. Bears defense, Randy Bullock, kicker, gross. Al Lazard, TJ Hawkinson, Rams defense, John Brown, Hayden Hurst on his bench. So you said how many can you keep? 6, right?
Yeah.
And you do previous year and then the upcoming year, correct?
Yes.
And value.
Correct. Yes.
Overall, this team's got some studs. So, I mean, I would keep Aaron Rodgers, Ezekiel Elliott.
How scary are his quarterbacks? So he's
Would you keep Aaron
Rodgers?
Rodgers and Watson on his team.
Well, luckily, we don't do the keeps until just a couple weeks before the season starts, right?
Yeah.
What if Rodgers sits out and Watson gets suspended for a year? He's in trouble.
Well, there will be quarterbacks available in the draft. So that's your priority, Tyler. You better draft a quarterback in the draft.
I think he keeps Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Saquon Barkley, and TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's absolutely the players you keep.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be rough. I would just let Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers go into the draft.
I would as well.
Yeah.
And I'm drafting this league, and I'm not picking them up. So
yeah. So Barkley, we said Hawkinson.
Yep.
CEH.
Yep.
Metcalf, Cooper, Elliott.
Yep.
That's the ones I would keep. And I think that's a good core going into it. I mean, it's not as good as my team, the reigning champion, of course. But I think that's a good core. I think Hilaire's gonna have a big boost next year.
I mean, let's talk about this. If you do keep Watson and you draft a quarterback relatively high, if he does play later in the season, he could be a top 3 quarterback for you.
Yeah, if he does.
It's an auction draft too, so
I mean,
it's even nicer.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't because you're gonna have to pay a lot for Rodgers and Watson.
Well, I don't think you bring Rodgers back. I think you try to get a guy maybe borderline like.
But like the way that you do this league is he's got to pay what Watson was either last year or his expected value next year, which I guess in this case you would definitely do next year with the suspension and stuff.
Probably gonna be cheap.
But if you can get him super cheap, then maybe you can go with Watson. But I probably want it with the other guys he has on his team because then you're giving up Amari Cooper or Metcalf or someone like that. So.
Well, I would say let Hawkinson go.
Yeah, it's not a tight end premium league, but Hawkinson's a good young tight end. There's not a lot of those out there.
I mean, he's one
Jared
of the better
Goff
ones we've had.
loves his tight ends.
He does.
Or is it Sean McVay that loves his tight ends?
That's also true.
Yes,
we will find out.
All right, so this has been our I don't know what we call this, fantasy fun time. Fantasy fun time. I enjoyed that. I thought that was cool.
Fantasy football.
Hopefully you guys felt like you got some good feedback on your teams. If you guys ever want us to do something like this again, we'd be happy to. Just shoot us some info. You know what's cool?
Grade that last team?
Oh,
I can't remember.
I mean, that core six, I give that an A-. I think that's a good group of 6 guys that he's going to keep.
He's still gonna lose to me, but A-.
How did he do in the playoffs last year? Do you remember, James?
I don't know if he made the playoffs because Saquon was hurt and Ezekiel didn't do too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'd probably give him an A. I think
Going into next year.
Saquon coming back is big, so I would give.
That's what we said last year.
Yeah. This is the year.
All right, let's go ahead and get into trivia. We'll also, as we get closer to the year, we'll probably talk about fantasy maybe 1 or 2 more times. We'll do a mock draft at least, maybe 1 or 2 as we get closer to the fantasy football season. So this trivia is a little different than we've done before. It's going to be a little short. I'm just going to ask you guys 5 questions. They're all going to be multiple choice. Well, I guess if you know it right away, then you can just answer it right away. But I'm going to give you a player in sports, okay? And you're going to have to tell me with what or how he got injured. So I'll give you a player, and then I will tell you a means of 4 means of injuries. You have to guess which one, and I'm going to read the little story about.
So, like we would say, the guy.
So I'll say like, yeah, Josh Naylor, and you have to say midfield collision.
Okay. Yep.
So these are weird sports injuries. So most of them aren't on the field, or it's a weird way you would get injured. Okay. So I'm on bleacherreport.com, the 25 weirdest sports injuries. So bear with me as I do get my list, because I'm going to give you 4 options that are actually on here. Okay. So I'm going to just do the top 5. We'll start with that. All right. Lionel Simmons is a basketball player. He played college basketball for LaSalle. Okay. Do either of you want to guess with what he was injured?
Very familiar with Latin. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I don't know who this guy is.
Anybody?
Nope.
Okay. The things that could have injured him are dentures, a poached egg, a Game Boy video console, or being headbutted.
Who goes first?
Wes, you're on my left, so you go first.
I'm gonna go Game Boy.
Let's go poached egg.
Okay. So here's the story. In the past 32 years, no men's college basketball player has scored more career points than LaSalle's Lionel Simmons. But in his first year in the NBA, Simmons was evidently trying to set the all-time high score on his Nintendo Game Boy. According to Susan Moffat of the Los Angeles Times, the rookie developed tendinitis, causing his wrist to become so inflamed that he couldn't grip the ball. Simmons missed 2 games, but that's nothing in the NBA. In fact, he appeared in more games that year than in any other season in his career. If anything, that 2-game break in February was probably a welcome respite from a Sacramento King team that lost 57 games. Each one of these are given a weirdness factor. If you grew up in the 1990s, this is given a 9.3 out of 10. If you grew up in the 90s, chances are there were a couple of days during your childhood dedicated entirely to the Game Boy, and you almost certainly weren't afflicted by tendinitis as a result. He must have had a unique grip on that handheld console. Okay. I think I'll skip the weirdness factor.
They're the best.
Okay. Do I want to do that one? I might not do the top 5. I'm gonna pick the ones that I like. All right. Brian Anderson, pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Was he injured with an iron, a celebration on field, dentures, or a gunshot wound?
Dentures.
What was the first one?
Iron.
I don't think it's that one because he hesitated. What was the second one again? I'm gonna go
on-field celebration, iron, dentures,
you can't say the
gunshot wound.
Well, I think it's right.
Do you really?
All right. Brian Anderson. There are plenty of ways to figure out if an iron is hot. Spritz a drop of water on it, put your hand near it, and check for warmth. Or if you're former Arizona Diamondback pitcher Brian Anderson, just check it with your face. I picked up the iron, held to my face to feel the heat, and was trying to look around the corner to watch the game on TV. Anderson told MLB.com. I just put my cheek right on it, and it didn't take much, and I fried the side of my face. Anderson didn't miss any time due to the burn, so it probably wasn't too severe, but speaking from the experience of having sunburn on one's face, it's safe to assume he had a miserable few days of trying to shave and shower and was berated to no end in the clubhouse. So here he is. He holds the iron up to his face to feel it's hot, and then turned to look at the game right into the iron like an idiot. So that one's pretty rough. All right.
So obviously we choose the same answer, Wes. You lose.
Bobby Cruikshank. He's a golfer. Was he injured via arachnophobia, a golf club, a wedding ring, or let's go with one of those three. So one of those three.
I'm gonna go wedding ring.
I'm not going to be Wes. I know he's probably going to be right, but I'm going to go arachnophobia.
In the final round of the 1934 U.S. Open, Bobby Cruikshank, it's Cruikshank, isn't it?
No idea.
I forget. Appeared to be on his way to winning his first major on the PGA Tour. He had the lead on the 11th hole when a wayward shot miraculously bounced off a rock and onto the green. According to Scotsman.com, overjoyed, Bobby threw his club in the air, exclaiming, "Thank you, Lord," only for it to clatter down on top of his own head. This required several stitches and meant he played the final 7 holes in 5 over par to finish third. So he threw his club up in the air and it came down on his head and gave him stitches.
A golfer getting hurt with his club is so unusual.
Well, he threw it up in the air and it landed on top of his head.
That's why I didn't choose it, because I was like, that's stupid.
I was like,
Compared to
there's
most of
no
the
way
injuries-
it's that obvious.
Compared to most of the injuries on this list, stitches are no big deal, but it should be noted that concussion protocol wasn't a thing in 1934. It's a minor miracle that he only shot +5 on those final 7 holes, considering he's probably seeing 3 golf balls on every swing. Okay, the jokes are dumb. All right, I'm going to go up to I'm not going to do the one you guys all know, James Pierce Paul. You all know that one. JPP. You guys do know how he got injured, right?
Yes.
Fireworks. All right, Clint Barnes. Was he injured via pancakes, via ejection, a golf cart, or venison?
This is just as bad as the trivia with Kevin Love.
What about Kevin Love?
Wow, Jake.
I don't remember trivia with Kevin Love. What do you?
His uncle is a rock star.
Oh.
Vincent.
All right, this is the last question.
Darn it. I was okay. What were the first 3 again?
He has no idea.
Gosh. Okay. Was it ejection, venison, pancakes, or a golf cart?
I'm gonna go with ejection.
All right. Clint Barnes was on his way to being named the 2005 NL Rookie of the Year. He played for the Rockies, by the way. When some gamey protein had other ideas, Barnes received a bag of venison from teammate Todd Helton and was carrying down a flight of stairs when he fell and broke his collarbone. I will definitely be known for deer meat, Barnes told Steve Campbell of the Houston Chronicle 6 years after the injury, and that'll probably stick with me for the rest of my life. So, are we tied or are you winning?
We are tied.
now.
Oh, we're tied. Okay, one more.
I knew it was venison too.
Okay. Was Milton Bradley injured by the home plate?
Who?
Milton Bradley. He's a baseball player.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it. We said home plate.
By the home plate, a coin toss, a golf cart, or by an ejection?
Ejection. I'm going first. Feeling confident.
Coin toss.
Milton Bradley did not play in enough games to become MLB's all-time leader in ejections, but he sure did get thrown out often. Only one of the blowups resulted in an injury, though. While with the San Diego Padres in 2007, Bradley tore his ACL when manager Bud Black spun him to the ground during an argument with an umpire. Bradley missed the final few weeks of the season, but he was somehow back in time for the start of the following year and better than ever. He made the only All-Star appearance of his career in 2008. So he was yelling at an umpire. Bud Black grabbed him and threw him back. And as he was going to the ground, he tore his ACL. So his manager tore his ACL.
Attaboy.
Oh, I love it. All right, James, congratulations. So this was a dud. You guys didn't like the injury trivia?
Just no idea.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, it was random guesses, but I thought it was kind of like entertaining to tell a story, at least with each question, rather than just random numbers. So
I hear you.
So yeah, I just thought after Josh Naylor had that crazy injury that it kind of reminded me about some nuts injuries that you see in sports. So this has been the Swing and Bump Podcast. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I've been putting a little bit more out lately. I tried to hop on Twitter and like say something once in a while. I should be better about that. We need to get someone who's just addicted to social media to come on the show. And just
McKenzie.
Yeah, for real. Where are the Allen Bros today? Why didn't they join us? Huh.
Oh, you know what? They took. No, I don't know.
All right, please follow us on all social media. You can always follow us on Patreon and give us money. It's always welcome. Please be sure to tell your friends about us.